Hello. Today I'm speaking to you from my kitchen because I want to talk to you about batching your meals. Every week I get people in my office who tell me they are struggling to eat healthy. They are struggling to eat healthy meals each night because they are too tired when they get home. They feel too overwhelmed to make something good and nutritious. They end up with fast food, going out to eat, or just overeating junk at home just by standing in front of the refrigerator or opening a cupboard and eating from the chip bag. And I get it. I work full time. I was going to school full time. While we raised 3 kids, had 2 dogs that needed to be walked, and trying to make sure to find time for my partner and my other friends, that was tough. Life gets to be a lot. And there are things you can do to make sure that you have healthy options ready to go for lunches, for dinners, and really any other time that you find yourself tired and hungry. We know that eating healthy is part of what keeps your energy up and allows you to engage fully in life even when you're busy. So first, let's take a moment and talk about why you might crave certain foods like sugar and carbs. Sugar is addicting. I feel like I do not need to say much more, except just like any addiction, sugar creates a chemical reaction in your brain. And it creates a reaction so that you want more and more and more of that substance. When that happens, you will crave more and more of not only the substance, but even some of those same activities like sitting around with friends or having the dessert at the end of the meal to have a good time. And that's thanks to dopamine. Sugar hits the brain similar to cocaine, alcohol, and other drugs that keep us coming back for more until we are caught in their steely grip. Next time you reach for that sweet treat, you might ask yourself if you would be willing to reach for another drug like cocaine, alcohol, or a different substance to curb that craving right now. If not, you probably shouldn't be reaching for sugar either. It's probably something else you need to sweeten up your life, such as social connection, or a pleasant activity, or a healthy food. On to carbs. They aren't the bad guy. They are one of the vital nutrients our bodies need for fuel. They are one of the easiest sources of quick fuel our body uses and converts, which is why we crave them over protein or fat. However, many of us eat too many refined and simple carbohydrates at the expense of more complex and whole foods. These are options like vegetables, good protein sources like healthy meats, good fats. And many of us do not digest carbs so well. So as a result, we gain weight when we go after too many carbs. We have insulin issues, which also helps with weight gain. And too many carbs doesn't just add to your waistline. They also contribute to our high rates of depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, and other mental health illnesses. This is not to say they cause those disorders. However, recent research studies show that a diet lower in simple carbohydrate, higher in good fats and proteins, can reduce symptoms of bipolar, depression, anxiety, and ADHD, just to name a few. We also know that when people are in recovery from addiction and addictive behaviors, often a diet full of good fats, healthy proteins, and balanced with complex carbohydrates helps reset the gut. When you think about your diet needs, consider these options. Aim for whole foods, fruits, veggies, and good fats. Then add in protein sources from grass-fed beef, wild-caught cold water fish, wild game, and organic options for beans, quinoa, and vegetables. Now, how to cook it all and make it work for you during a busy week. This is where we get into batching. Batching our food does not have to be difficult, but it does take a bit of thought. You'll want to think about the meals you want to eat over the next 7 to 10 days. If this feels overwhelming, I do have a 7-day meal plan I have used to keep myself on track and focused on my own healthy food choices and meals even when I'm busy. This meal plan is in the description below. You can click the link and get that. From here, you can determine where you can cook extra foods, prep a little more at one time, and use your food up successfully and in ways that are interesting. I know I do not like to eat warmed up, soggy leftovers. I don't think most people do either. We're going to look for foods that are easy to batch. So things like cooking a little extra protein. You can cook an extra chicken breast, maybe an extra piece of steak, marinate or flavor extra tofu. You can make extra beans, quinoa, and yogurt parfaits. As you cook for one meal, you can add extra to that meal so that you end up with leftovers that you can reuse later. You can chop extra onions, garlic, peppers for meals over the week. This way, the prep of that weekday meal after a long day is cut in half, just by having the onions already cut up and ready to go. Then all you have to do is throw them into the new meal. When cutting up vegetables and fruit for maybe a veggie tray or a fruit tray for the weekend party, or as a side dish for your meal that night, cut more than you need. This way you have easy snacks for vegetables ready for sauteing, side dishes, and grinding up into smoothies. A tip is to use lemon juice on the fruit to keep it from oxidizing and turning brown on you. If you put a little lemon juice in a bag with sliced up apples, they won't turn mushy and brown, and you'll be able to store them in the refrigerator and then be able to quickly grab them for your snacks throughout the week. Make extra rice, pasta, potatoes when considering your starches. You can bake a batch of potatoes, and now you have potatoes that you can later cut up, ready to go to make fried potatoes, French fries, mashed potatoes, and more. You have extra rice that you can reflavor or add to a soup. And because you've already done half of the cooking, this cuts that meal prep time and that process down quite a bit. So as we're talking about batching today, I thought I'd show you a little bit of what I use. So behind me, I have some of the different tools that I use. A solid crock pot. You can tell this one's been used quite a bit. I have another pot here that I often use to make soups or extra marinara sauce, because we can make a big batch of a sauce or a soup even if we don't need it all for that night, and then store that so that we can quickly defrost something, throw it back in this pan, and then we have a great healthy meal. You can also use some of those soups to be bases for, say, a rice dish later. Just depends on what you put into it. You could also throw it in the crock pot with maybe a roast or a chicken, something like that to flavor it. And you can always combine a soup and salad. If you've got extra marinara sauce, I often don't always season it as much, so then I can use it for a pizza sauce. I could use it as part of a soup mix and make more of a tomato-based soup, but I've already got the mixture up and ready and the flavors already melded. I've also got some cutting boards, some bowls, a great food processor, a blender are also really, really important. You just pick what you want to do. Every week is different, and as you spread things out, you just work around that. An Instapot is awesome for rice and quinoa, beans, cooking quickly. And again, making more of those so that you can store those is really, really important. While all that's happening, I might be baking potatoes in the oven or extra chicken. So we can lay out chicken, bacon, things like that, lay that out, and then you can bake that while you're making something on the stovetop. By the end of a couple hours, you have quite a few supplies to keep you eating healthy throughout the week. As you get into the habit of batching, it is important to store your prizes well. You want to make sure you have some good fridge and freezer containers, solidly sealed bags, to keep your food over time. Different foods are able to keep for shorter or longer periods of time, either in the refrigerator or frozen, so pay attention to good food safety when you're doing your planning and storing your goodies. Information on how to store foods easily is easily found online. Information on how to store foods is easily found online or in the back of cookbooks. Lastly, you'll want to develop a system for using it. If you have to remember to use it before it gets freezer burn. When you batch your cooking, you are setting yourself up for success to eat healthy meals throughout the week, even though you are working hard, navigating the sports, the practices, the carpools, the work projects, the coworker happy hours, and all the other things that life throws at you. If you are interested in learning more about how to thrive, click the link below to learn more about mind over matter and how our physiology and our psychology are inextricably linked. You can check out more at stacyRD.com. And if you are ready to get started making changes in your life, then visit our clinic website to check out our professionals and book your first appointment. You can find us at studiob.life. That's studio, the letter B, .life. Both links to the blog at stacyRD.com and studiob.life are in the description below. If you like this video and you want to understand more about how your psychology is really in your physiology, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I want to help you work on changing your life one small step at a time. If there is something you'd like to see more of in the psychology and physiology realm, please reach out. I love to create videos that help people take control of their lives. Small changes over time build health from the inside out. Thank you for watching, and make a great day happen today. Be well.